December morning, 2025. Eastern Caribbean, approximately 40 nautical miles north of the Venezuelan coast. 0520 local time, less than 1 hour before sunrise. Air temperature 77 Fahrenheit, humidity high, wind 10 knots from the northeast. The medium-endurance cutter maintained radio silence while transiting its assigned patrol lane under JIATF South Tasking. At 0511, a radar operator detected a compact, fast-moving Echo approaching from the southeast at approximately 30 knots. The track was consistent with a low-profile go-fast vessel, commonly used in narcotics runs, departing the Venezuelan coast before first light. The issue was not the speed or the signature. The issue was the timing and direction. Intelligence from the previous night indicated cartel movements shifting west toward the Guajira corridor, not north toward U.S. Coast Guard patrol patterns. The vessel's trajectory aligned precisely with the cutter's approach vector, contradicting all earlier assessments. Why was a single high-speed contact moving toward open water at this hour? Why did the track not match the predicted smuggling route? And why was the most recent intelligence update now inconsistent with the radar picture? Something in the operational data did not align. The cutter on station was a medium-endurance platform operating under Joint Interagency Task Force South Direction, equipped with one MH-60T helicopter, a high-speed RHIB, and a 4-person boarding team prepared for counter-narcotics interdiction. The crew maintained standard pre-dawn readiness, with flight deck personnel, navigation watch, and engineering teams at routine operational posture. The opposing contact displayed the length, hull profile, and radar cross-section typical of a fiberglass go-fast vessel configured for long-range narcotics transport. No navigation lights were visible. Thermal imaging from the cutter showed intermittent heat signatures consistent with multiple outboard engines. Initial intelligence for this patrol cycle suggested a possible reduction in northbound launches from the Venezuelan coast. However, the unverified nature of cartel route adjustments left uncertainty in the predicted smuggling corridor. Sea state was 3, with swells between 2 and 3 feet. Visibility remained stable at 6 miles. Range between the cutter and the unidentified vessel narrowed to approximately 5 nautical miles.
Firing warning shot. Target. Down. Roger. All units maintain good. Target maneuvering hard. Weapons free, weapons free. Adjusting from MTS. Direct the transfer. Firing for effect. Fire warning shot. Disabling burst. Target the waterline.
The cutter adjusted its heading to 045 degrees and increased speed to 20 knots to initiate an intercept vector. The Go Fast maintained approximately 30 knots on a north-northwest course, creating a closing rate sufficient for visual acquisition within minutes. Navigation confirmed no conflicting traffic inside a 10-mile radius, allowing the bridge team to proceed without altering the intercept geometry. On deck, crew movements remained deliberate. Line handlers secured loose equipment, and the RHIB launch crew stood by at the starboard position. The helicopter remained on deck with engines cold pending command authorization. Radio channels stayed silent, except for internal coordination conducted over encrypted headsets. From the reporter's position near the midship rail, only observable details were recorded. The low-frequency vibration of the hull as speed increased. The shift in wind direction as the cutter angled toward the contact. The repetitive sweep of the surface search radar rotating above the bridge, and the faint silhouette of the target intermittently appearing on the horizon as ambient light increased. The Go Fast held a steady course with no deviation. The cutter continued to narrow the distance using standard intercept procedures, maintaining light discipline and minimizing detectable sound signatures. At a range of approximately 3 nautical miles, the Go Fast altered behavior for the first time. Its speed increased by an estimated 5 knots, and its heading shifted 10 degrees to port. No navigation lights appeared. Thermal imaging recorded a brief surge of engine heat consistent with a throttle increase. The deviation in course indicated an awareness of approaching traffic or an attempt to break the intercept angle. The cutter initiated the standard hailing protocol. On VHF Channel 16, the bridge issued the required command. United States Coast Guard cutter calling the vessel off our bow. Heave to and prepare to be boarded. No response was transmitted. The call was repeated at the prescribed interval. With non-compliance established, the MH-60T received authorization for launch. Flight deck procedures commenced immediately. Tie-downs removed, personnel in position, and rotor blades beginning low-power rotation. Ambient noise on the cutter increased as the helicopter systems engaged. RHIB crews prepared for potential deployment, securing harnesses, testing comms, and confirming engine readiness. The vessel continued to accelerate, producing a wake pattern consistent with evasive maneuvering. Interagency coordination updated in real time. JIATF South relayed that no additional contacts were detected in proximity, reducing the likelihood of a multi-vessel transit. DEA Liaison reported a possible early morning departure window from the Venezuelan coast consistent with cartel testing runs. AMO surveillance aircraft provided altitude-based confirmation of the Go Fast speed and general movement. The cutter maintained pursuit while adhering to rules of engagement. No warning shots were authorized at this stage. The situation remained dynamic as the closing range decreased. At a range of 400 yards, the helicopter lifted to an altitude of approximately 250 feet and moved to an overhead position. Rotor wash became audible across the cutter's aft deck. The Go Fast maintained high speed, creating a narrow wake with intermittent course adjustments of 5 to 10 degrees. Radio traffic remained limited to operational commands. Distance closed to 250 yards. The cutter issued a second hailing command on Channel 16. No response followed. Engine noise from the target increased, captured through directional microphones on the helicopter. Thermal imaging confirmed 3 active outboard engines producing consistent thrust. At 120 yards, the RHIB launched from the starboard side at approximately 35 knots. Crew positioning was visible, bow operator forward, coxswain centered, and 2 boarding members secured at the stern. The RHIB advanced along the target's starboard quarter to limit the go-fast's maneuvering options. The helicopter delivered an authorized warning signal using its loudhailer. The command, heave to now, was issued at standard volume. The go-fast made a rapid correction to port, causing its bow to rise briefly as it struck a larger swell. The RHIB adjusted trajectory to avoid crossing the vessel's wake. At 75 yards, the situation stabilized. The helicopter maintained station overhead. The RHIB held parallel course at safe distance. The go-fast speed declined incrementally, with engine output decreasing on thermal instruments. Radio monitoring detected no transmissions from the target. The cutter continued to close steadily, while preparing for the next phase of interdiction. The go-fast reduced speed to idle and came to a stop approximately 100 yards off the cutter's bow. All 3 engines disengaged. No individuals were visible on deck until the RHIB closed to boarding range. The boarding team conducted the initial approach using standard starboard side positioning. Upon securing the vessel, the team performed a safety sweep, confirming 3 individuals on board and no immediate hazards. Identification documents were collected and recorded. Compartments were opened under protocol. Multiple rectangular plastic-wrapped packages were located beneath a removable deck panel. The boarding team initiated chain of custody procedures. Each package was bagged, sealed, time-stamped, and labeled according to evidence handling requirements. The vessel remained afloat, but showed signs of overloading. All detainees were transferred to the cutter without incident. The go-fast was maintained under guard while further assessment continued. The interdiction concluded without injuries. The detained individuals were secured on board the cutter, and all recovered packages were logged under formal evidence procedures. The go-fast remained stable under tow for transfer to the designated port of inspection. Operational reporting was updated through JIATF South and communicated to partner agencies for follow-on processing. The event proceeded within established Coast Guard protocols, though the early course deviation and intelligence mismatch narrowed the decision window throughout the intercept. The operation ended without casualties, and routine patrol conditions resumed on schedule.